All right, we are starting here. Let's get this posted, and we are live with Ben Freeman, Scott Alicious, preview of the Texas Senate primary. Amazing. Okay, I posted that, Scott, if you saw it,
Wait.
and Ben as well. This is an exciting day. Uh, it's an exciting eve because tomorrow is a big election. There's multiple, right? A Republican, Democrat. I don't know if there's any other states, but the one we're focusing on today is Texas Senate primary, where Ben, you are currently presiding, right?
Yeah, I just flew into Houston from Boston, and so I'm actually going to a Jasmine Crockett thing. She's speaking, and then after that, I'm going to Uber straight to a James Tallarico rally. So I'm going to hit both spots. I think Wesley Hunt is here on the GOP side, but yeah, it
Nice.
should be good. Wow, it's at 78 now.
I know we
Last time I
gotta.
saw
I
it
know
was
it's gone up a
75.
lot. Yes, was it last night or 2 nights ago that it was in the 60s, and now we're already up there. So it's been a crazy couple 24 hours, but it's because of a A-rated poll, right? Ben, do I have it right?
Yeah, I think that is right. But one thing that I think is interesting is there's been multiple polls coming out. I mean, there was a Crockett plus 18 poll. There was a Talrico plus 12 poll. Then there was this recent one that was yeah, plus 5. And there honestly hasn't been that much market movement based on these polls. And I think I think part of why that is because polls in these primary races tend to not be very accurate. Like
Yeah.
thinking back to the New York City mayor's race for the primary in June, there were polls where Cuomo was up by 20 or 30 points, and like that, that obviously didn't end up happening. So I think what the market is currently based on is like looking at the early vote, looking at the rally sizes, looking at campaign ads,
Mhm.
ad spend. I think people are mainly looking at other factors rather than polls because we've seen these polls are just they're bouncing around, but the market's staying relatively stable.
Yeah. Okay, so yeah, let's get into it. And we'll start off with the Emerson poll from yesterday. How about that? So let's look at it here. Yeah, so it was yesterday that the Emerson poll came out, A-rated, that had Tallarico at 52 and Crockett at 47. So this was, I guess, already written by prediction markets. I don't know, Ben, you had been tweeting out, oh, prediction markets are ahead of the polls, and the polls that are out right now, they're so obfuscated, like there's so many different sides that the polls are coming out in that we don't know what's going on, but prediction markets are seeing through this. And I mean, I have a couple theories on why prediction markets were able to have Tallarico as a favorite, despite I think more polls coming out in favor of Crockett. But I'm curious what you guys think as well. And I know Scott, you I guess sold most of your Crockett position, which you had tweeted about a couple days prior. Um, I guess due to this poll as well, right? This Emerson poll.
Largely, and also due to better opportunities in Iran. But disclaimer, I did say I might chicken out, especially if the price went up a bit. Instead, it went down, and I still chickened out. Um, but this new poll definitely was a factor. Um, Also, kind of some dubious efforts at damage control from the Crockett campaign
Mhm.
about that. Was it an Atlantic journalist that got kicked out of one of their events or what have you,
Let's look.
Ben? And it just I don't
Yeah.
know, they just seem kind of disorganized. I've been watching it more closely the last few days, and I'm not really enthralled with what I'm seeing from the Crockett campaign. So that was a variable as well.
Yeah, was caught lying about a journalist being kicked out of her rally and lied about the same journalist being sued for defamation on camera. Oh, interesting. Didn't hear about this. So, yeah, Ben, do you have any? have any insight on what's been going on?
Yeah, I mean, with the polling, it is it is very uh it is very in it is very interesting because like Emerson is really the only kind of like high quality pollster
Yeah.
that like we've like actually had. They have they polled this race I think three times. But all these other pollsters, like what's what they are trying to do is model what they think the final voter turnout will actually be.
Yeah.
And what we have seen in the early voting is like voter turnout has been super high. And it is like it is higher than it even was for the 2020 presidential uh, primary race when it was like Biden and like Bernie. So I think pollsters uh, they are trying to model kind of like what they actually think, but that is very hard. And I think what what we are going to end up finding is that with this like higher voter turnout, it is going to be more younger voters than normal, which I think is going to help Tal which is going to help Talarico. And then also I think it is going to be more kind of like your moderate GOP voter who doesn't typically turn out in the Democratic race. And so I think both of those factors are going to ultimately help Talarico. And like I don't think that is like always going to be captured in the polling.
Yeah, so this was one tweet I was looking for because I know I saw this on my feed today because you replied to it. Let's pull this up. Yeah. So it was a crosstab analysis of was this the Emerson poll, I think? Do you
Yes,
know? Yeah, so
yes.
this was the Emerson poll, and you doubted the crosstabs, which was already in a Crockett. Like Tallarico is winning this poll, but it was
Yeah.
27% black was the weighting of this poll. And you obviously vague posting is popular on Twitter. The electorate is not going to be 27% black. Does this mean that you think it's going to be more or less? Because obviously less would be favorable even more to Tallarico, but more is better for Crockett, right?
Yeah, so I think with these splits, so like I think they are like pretty right, honestly. Like I think that he is going to win white he is going to win white voters by like 40. I think he's probably going to win Hispanic voters by like 20. And I think honestly he's probably going to lose black voters by like 70 or 80, and he's only losing them by 60 here. But I think uh I think I think black I think that the black share of the total vote will probably be in the range of 20 to 23 to 20 to 23%. And I think white voter turnout is like honestly probably going to be in the like 46 to like 50 range, just because there's like all these younger voters from like college and like in Austin and like all these like people that are moving in. So I think personally it's actually going to be a double digit it's going to be a double digit Rico win. But I think this is like pretty right. I just think that they overestimated the black share of the vote by a bit.
Yeah, so Scott, when you were initially buying Tallarico, did you have an idea? Like, were you looking at the crosstabs and seeing that maybe they were sampling the black share, or what was the insight behind taking Tallarico at 30s? When I know she's leading the polls, but what did you see that the prediction markets you thought didn't?
I took a more qualitative analysis. So I thought that the name recognition, the fact that she was in a national office versus Talarico being in a state office, and I'm admittedly not very good at looking at crosstabs and other quant stuff. But I thought the name recognition could be huge. And then I did what I do often. I sample people from Texas, a lot of my friends. And interestingly enough, it correlated with a lot of the data that's coming out where she seems to be getting a lot of older support. So I have like some friends that are a white couple in their 80s, and they were all about her, interestingly enough. But then I started talking to more young people, and Talarico, one person said, well, actually two or three people said that Talarico has this like Obama-like energy that he wants to bring people together. And I think a lot of people are tired of the extreme rhetoric, the polarization, uh, all these other characteristics of of modern times, and they want someone who's going to be more moderate all around. So the it's interesting how sometimes the more extreme someone is, the more name recognition they have, right? So I thought, okay, the name recognition will probably get her um, past the finish line. But when I started considering more closely the people I spoke with and their demographics, I actually had two African American people who told me that they would vote for Talarico, and that's out of a very small sample.
Interesting.
Yeah, and they're both professionals, fairly young. Um, so I thought, okay, well, I guess his name recognition isn't that bad. So those were some of
Yeah,
the variables I looked at.
fair. So over the next 24 hours, what kind of things are we looking for? Actually, I guess Ben, we'll start with you. So what's your game plan for the next 24 hours, I guess?
Yeah, I mean, so I'm planning on going to this Crockett rally, and I mean, these are very qual qual these are very qualitative driven things. Like I'm not going to be going up to voters and trying to sample them, but like I think going kind of like feeling what the general energy is, hearing people actually speak and like kind of being there. So I think going there, like hearing kind of what the what the primary Eve Crockett energy is, and then going to the going to the Talarico rally and like seeing kind of like what that energy is. I mean, from what I have heard and seen is like these Talarico rallies are massive, tons of energy, and like Crockett's rallies tend to be smaller. So yeah, I think I think that could be interesting, and then just like you know talking to people there and like seeing what they seeing what they're saying and trying to overhear different conversations.
Yes, Scott, when you were in Portugal, yeah, go ahead.
Bingo. Yeah, we're thinking along the same lines. I was going to say, one thing you might want to be on the lookout for, Ben, is the vehemence of their opinions or lack thereof. How their
Mhm.
conviction, I guess, right? If someone says, Tyler Rico all the way, versus, well, maybe I might vote for him. He's pretty good. That made a difference in Portugal. So just a
Yeah,
thought.
yeah, and what one thing like uh, for uh for uh for Tuesday, I mean when people are actually going to be like you know casting votes, going to the polling sites, I think what my plan is to like go to different polling sites in different precincts, like, choose a kind of like more black precinct, go to a like wider precinct. Houston, has ev- everything. Like they have, like they have Asian, white, black, gay, straight, higher income, lower income. So I'm like, I'm like probably gonna choose like four or five different spots. I like I like I like still need to research that, but as I think as people we've voting, I'll I just ask, like, see if anyone wants to speak, and maybe videotape it. I'll just kind of like tease it out. I don't want to go with a camera to people and ask like who they voted for. But yeah, I'll just kind of tease it out and see how it goes.
Okay, so
I
let's take a
like your
look at
thought
the.
about the
Yeah, go ahead.
GOP people.
Sorry, go ahead.
Sorry. I was just going to go back to your comment about potential GOP voters, and will in the general could we see a scenario like what we saw in Georgia 2020, where John Ossoff
Mhm.
got elected by the slimmest of margins? Like, could that actually happen in Texas? I'd love to hear your thoughts on that.
Yeah, well, I think if James Tallarico wins on the Democratic side, and Ken Paxton wins on the GOP side, and both of them now are like pretty heavy favorites. I think right now the current price for the overall Texas Senate race is like 65-35. I think if it's those two candidates, I think it's almost instantly going to go to 60-40. And I think it'll honestly probably trend closer to like 50-50. Um,
Is that because Paxton is strong, or sorry, because Paxton's weak, or because Tallarico is just a much stronger candidate? Or is
well,
it, I
I
guess, a
think,
mixture of both?
yeah, I think both. I think Paxton is very weak.
Mhm.
Paxton cheated on his wife. He's going through he's going through a divorce right now. Um, he just has all these scandals. I just think Paxton is the total worst. And I think what is interesting is, like, if the GOP actually wanted to win, and really wanted to hold this seat, they would they would vote for they would vote they would vote for Cornyn or Hunt. But Paxton's probably going to end up winning just because he's super MAGA, and like he's just a he's a diehard Trump person, even even though he's super weak. And I think on the Democratic side, Crockett is the weaker candidate, but she probably isn't going to win because um, you know, Dems are like maybe smarter, and are like, she's the weaker candidate. So if we
Mhm.
actually want to win, we want to choose our best candidate. So I think that is interesting if that ends up happening. So yeah, I think buying Dems at like 35 cents right now is probably a pretty good buy, because I think it's probably going to go up, and it's very low downside. Because
Yeah,
I
so
just like don't think it's going to drop more. And yeah, and like um yeah.
mm. I mean, so I'm just looking at the price action here. So as both Paxton and Tallarico became more favorites, the price has been going down, it looks like. Okay, so it used to be at 80%, and
Mhm.
that was when Paxton was a 60% favorite, and it was a 50-50 race. No, maybe
Right.
around. Okay, so Tallarico was 63, and then now it's come down a bit because, yeah, this is a bit confusing. So it's come down as Paxton and Tallarico became more of a favorite. And I guess the next 5% move is if you think that both of those people are going to win. Um, I guess if you're thinking about a trade there, I don't know if I have it right, Scott. You can help me here. So if you're thinking it moves to 40, Ben, so that's 35 out of 40. What's that? A 10% move, 12% move? Okay, 12% move.
Mm-hmm.
12%
Yeah.
move on a parlay between Tallarico
It's
and
more than 12.
Paxton.
It's more like 15, I think.
15%? Okay, 15% move on a parlay between Tallarico and Paxton. The rate of return wouldn't make sense there at all because you would make more
Yeah.
betting
Well,
each of those, which is over a 15% return.
well, Phantom, you can also look up Texas Senate matchup because that is
Okay,
actually a built-in parlay, which is pretty interesting. Because
interesting.
yeah.
Okay, so
So
this one
you
here.
can buy both yeah, you can buy them both at 69, and I think each of them is priced at like
Yeah,
85 and 78. So yeah, I actually like don't know how to like calc those. Like, do you multiply each of these and like that's how you get
yeah,
to 69?
yeah.
But yeah, this is a pretty interesting market too.
Yeah. Okay. So over the next 24 hours, Ben, you're going to be on the ground. Scott, I know we have a lot of Iran stuff, including just an hour and a half ago when Iran re-announced that they're closing the strait. But what are you looking for in the next 24 hours, not in being present in Texas?
I mean, you always have last minute scandals, that type of thing. I mean, sometimes candidates can go off the rails at the last minute and say really stupid things. I would look at kind of tail scenarios like that. I don't think any day-to-day stuff would really move me one way or another. I think there's an interesting dynamic that I wanted to since Ben mentioned the cheating scandal, the married guy cheating on his wife or whatever. Usually Trump is unique in his ability to have this like rock star private life and still command the vote of the Christian right. And usually that doesn't carry over to other candidates, but somehow
Yeah.
it's carried over to Paxton. And that makes me really interested in what's going on in the churches in Texas. Like how did this dynamic play out? I know it's not probably directly relevant to what happens in the next 24 hours, but I think for future elections, it'd be a good thing to analyze.
Yeah. Now, looking at the market the way it is right now, do you see any value in getting back in on Tallarico? I guess what price did you sell it at? Did you sell it above 30 when it dipped yesterday?
Crockett,
Scott?
I
Yeah.
sold
Oh, sorry,
Crockett
Crockett.
from
Yeah.
I sold her from 30s, man, all over the place. 37, 36, 34, 30, 31,
Nice.
23 this morning, 23 and 22 this morning. So um it's
You're just
hard,
getting rid of it at all costs. Then
yeah, a lot of
that's what it
people
seems like.
are able a lot of people are able to like my initial impetus was going to be like, okay, well, I'll keep $5,000 worth. But there's also the psychology of trading. And for me, if there are too many important positions that I'm looking at, and $5,000 for my account size isn't really that super important, but at some point, I just don't want to have any more skin in the game. I'm done with that market. Maybe I made a stupid move. Maybe I'll end up regretting chickening out. But there's so much going on with Iran and so much easy money.
Yeah.
Especially some of the stuff I even talked about yesterday with nuclear accord. I think that the Pahlavi and regime change bets are easier, and
Yeah.
so I sized up tremendously on those. And then it's like, okay, I got like 200 something
Wow.
thousand on Pahlavi not riding in on his horse in Iran by the end of March. What's let me focus on that instead of this $5,000 or $10,000 that I have left on Crockett
Yeah,
in in a
when we talked the other day, it was looks like what time was that? 11 o'clock, something like that, or in the
Mhm.
afternoon, and that was at yeah 13%, and now it's come down to 6. So that was a good trade there. I remember you told us on there. Um, yeah, there's a lot of trades going on. Are you considering getting back into it over the next 24 hours? So what would you be looking for if you were?
extreme moves,
Mm,
reversion to the mean. Like if there's an extreme move that and there really isn't a reason for it, I'd look for, okay, well, Crockett drops to like 14 cents or something. That would be a little bit extreme. So I might hop back in. And
early
the
voting
context.
data, early voting data. I remember 2024 election. This is Texas, but so for Nevada, there was positive information coming out for favorable for Kamala, and obviously it didn't pan out. But there was favorable information about independents voting more than normal in Nevada that day. But also Republicans were voting at an absolutely astronomical pace in Florida because they were giving hourly updates. Um, does Texas have these kinds of early return data? I don't know, Ben, if you know, but uh, is there going to be enough any data coming out that would move Crockett to 14 legitimately?
Yeah, I mean, so I mean, like with the early voting data, I mean, we can map that to the precinct level and like see where that vote is coming from. I think early voting started or like ended on Friday. So for the actual for the actual for the actual election day, um, I think you can do that, like map kind of like where turnout is like higher and like where it's lower. I like will be going to different polling sites. Like I like won't be looking at that. But I mean, yeah, I think if voter turnout is like very high in like black precincts like that like could boost Crockett's price if it's higher in more kind of like wider areas and like Austin, then like yeah, I think that could maybe lower Crockett's price. I think probably like fair value for this market is probably around, I would say, 80 to 85 and like 15 to 20. So if this gets uh to 80 or like 80 83 and like soon I might trim down some. I like my for my current entry price, I think I'm at like 67 68, but yeah, I think fair is probably around like 80 83 80 85. So if it like gets up into that range,
Yeah.
I might sell a little bit.
So yeah, there's two things that I want to go on, and margin of victory. I guess once this is 80% and it becomes less lucrative, we'll talk about margin of victory. But I know before the stream, you asked about Yabvek, and he's not on the stream today. But did you talk to him about thoughts on this election? Do you know what his position is here? Like if he's fading or tailing Tallarico?
I I'm not totally sure. I think he probably leans towards him, just bit based on like tweets that I've seen. Can
Okay,
you actually
interesting.
see it on Poly though? Like
I wonder. I don't know what his account
yeah,
is, so I
top
wouldn't be able to tell
folders.
you. Scott, do you know if he's what he's tailing? I know he's the sharp, right? So everyone wants to everybody wants to
Yeah,
know.
everyone wants a piece, but we're not getting it on the Discord. I'm not seeing much information about what he's doing, unfortunately,
Maybe he's
as
the
of right
big Crockett fader here or Crockett Taylor.
now.
We'll see. Wow. Yeah, GOP
Yeah.
fan. We know GOP fan, so that's interesting.
Is he
To
is he sharp? Like, is there anyone sharp here? Because I don't use Polymarket, so
well, I
I don't
mean,
even know.
It's tough. We know GOP fan. I don't know. He is European. Not that this is a bad thing, but he does have a good sense for elections. Tailing Talarico. Is he also on Crockett? Okay, so he's on both sides. So obviously he's hedged out there. Um, I don't know. Scott, what are the sharps taking? Do you know?
They seem to so semi who is super sharp and unfortunately got hacked a while ago to the tune of a really ridiculous amount. He
Yeah.
was originally for Crockett,
Mm.
and some of the other guys, Geo GOP or GOP, Mortal Rico, but they're sort of dipping their toes in very slightly. I don't see any huge
Mhm.
conviction on one side or
That's
another.
fair.
Um, One race that I have a lot of conviction in that I've been watching super closely is the Grand Platinum race in Maine, and
Mm.
on that,
Oh, I think I saw that the other day. Is that
Are you
June or is that
on
also
Grand
tomorrow?
Partner Wire? Yes. No, I think that doesn't happen until
June.
it's either
Yeah,
June or August. Is it
Yeah, that's
June?
it's
June.
in June, but some news
June.
came out today that he got the endorsement of Ruben Gallegos, senator,
Yeah, yeah.
and
This is
so
the governor's
This
race.
is,
Yeah, go to
oh,
the
sorry,
Senate.
my bad. It's Dem, right?
Yeah,
yes,
Cool. There we go.
there it is.
yeah.
So
Interesting. So what is the news here?
Senator Ruben Gallegos of Arizona endorsed him this morning, and
Hmm.
to me that's huge because I think he's the only the second senator after Bernie to endorse him. And there's also apparently the three largest unions in Maine are telling Chuck Schumer. This was yesterday. The Gallegos news was today, but the union news is they're telling Chuck Schumer, who originally backed Mills, and the National Democrats that they may not support Mills in the if she ends up being the candidate. And then you have polls that came out showing Plattner with an immense lead. Although polls like we know could be a little bit dubious, but it makes so that's one reason why I'm not as
There you are.
strident
We can see
about
you.
the. There it
We
is.
can see
Yep.
you on Planner. Was that a position you built before this endorsement or just today?
No, I built it. I built it before it was. I built it back at 50 cents.
Mm.
So, for all the people that say I only bond, that's really not the case.
I
If
think
I'm
I
buying
said that a
Platinum,
couple days ago.
yeah, it's okay. I know you're just joking, but it's yeah, I built it and I unloaded a little bit in the high 60s, and I think I unloaded some like a day before this Gallegos news, which if I had known it was coming, I wouldn't have unloaded any in the 70s. But I'm very comfortable with the current position size. Like I don't see any. I might even add back in at a slight loss, compared to what I sold, because I think this Gallegos news is huge.
So I don't
Yeah,
get
I
it.
think
The news was this morning, but it hasn't really moved too much. I guess what, 2%? Doesn't seem like the most impactful
um
news.
I think it actually maybe happened yesterday, maybe. Um,
It happened yesterday.
because
Okay, that would make sense.
yeah, because it's or yeah, because it kind of went up a bit, I think.
Yeah, a bit weird. I don't know.
Yeah,
We'll
I
see
think
how it is. Go
yeah,
ahead.
I think he's yeah, I think he is probably going to win too. I'm like holding some Janet Mills nose, but not at like a sit at a sit at a 65 cent price. So, I mean, it's nothing crazy, but I'm like probably gonna hold that because um I think it's probably gonna keep on going up. Yeah, because there was one poll that had him up by like 40 points, which is like crazy. She
Mm.
is also like she's the current governor of Maine, and I mean she's like fairly well liked, but she's like 75. Like she's like really old. And so
Who are
she's
we
like
talking
now
about?
running
Sorry, is this Janet Mills?
Janet Mills. She's the current governor of Maine. And like she's very like old. And she's just kind of there and like, but Plattner's like it is a very good speaker. He's like very kind of like working class union, like former vet. And yeah, I just he's been like holding these rallies with a huge rally size. So
She's
it's like
78. I was just checking. She's actually 78, believe it or not.
okay, yeah. So yeah, she's older.
Wild,
So
right?
yeah, she's like yeah, I mean that's like how old Biden was, when everyone
Yeah.
was saying he was unfit to
Yeah,
run.
it's
Yeah,
insanity. It's insanity by the DNC, and it just doesn't make any sense. Now they're trying to call him a Nazi because he went on a podcast with some guy who has these wild conspiracy theories. Unfortunately, the state of media today, like a quarter of these guys that have important people on their shows, including Joe Rogan, people are pointing out,
right,
have these wild conspiracy theories that in
right.
some instances could be interpreted as anti-Semitic or slightly anti-Semitic. I don't know, but I don't think the average Mainer um,
No.
cares all that much about whether Plattner went on this or that podcast. So it's kind of like desperation. They're grasping at straws at this point.
Well, yeah, I mean, there's still
Unknown.
what,
Totally.
3 months to go, but I'm looking at Poly Kalshi. It looks like the price, maybe the price moved off of us. There wasn't much volume on it, but it did go up a fair amount. Um, Low volume, but I was seeing if there's any arb because always there's arb between these stuff, right? But yeah, big order to buy Mills here. A couple of big orders compared to not much liquidity on the long side for Plattner. But I guess the next moves here are more endorsements or polls. Um, yeah, interesting.
Yeah.
And see where the sharps end up laying down. Okay, we can go to the margin of victory now because I was looking
Yeah.
at some of your tweets, Ben, and let's pull them up. I just not showing the screen while I pull it up. Let's find these tweets. You did give your official
Yeah, there.
projections, not
Yep.
financial advice. All right.
NFA. Yeah,
Primary
no.
margin of victory projections. All right, so you have a 12-point victory for Tallarico. Whoa. Okay, so can we get the margin market here? What is that trading at? Okay, so it's right in between two brackets, but I guess 12 and above is trading at 23 cents. Okay, 20 some, yeah, 23
Yeah.
cents.
So I
Explain
think
to us
probably
what your rationale is. Yeah, go ahead.
yeah. So I think probably what is favored looking at the market is probably like a +6, +7. That's like probably what the median point is.
Mhm.
And I think that's partially, based on polling that has this like 50-50. I just think turnout with it being super high, like you will you will end up seeing kind of more tail outcomes. Like, for the New York City uh for the New York City primary race, Cuomo was favored to win by like 10. He ended up losing by 17 points. And so
Yeah.
I think, in these primary races, you will see vastly tail outcomes. So, I think playing margins for these markets is actually pretty hard, just because there's like like it can be just so like yeah like p- uh picking a 3% bracket is like very hard because like I think this like could be like I mean Crockett could end up winning by 2, or I think that Tallarico could end up winning by like 25. Like um I think in these primary races you have longer tails than in the general race when like people are pretty partisan and like on their sides.
And I mean, this does not conform with the polls before Emerson, neither the poll with, but your rationale behind, I guess, so Polymarket 10 plus you could get, so 10, 15, and 15 plus for 29 cents. What is your rationale behind taking a margin that large? Is it this crosstabs thing? Is it the what the demographics of the turnout is?
Yeah, well, I think polls are always lagging indicators, and so like many of those like tight polls were like they were taken previous to I think when Tal previous to when Talorico has seen this kind of like late push, and yeah, and I just think kind of like looking at where the early vote has come in strong. I think that this bodes well for this bodes well for Talarico. One thing also that I thought was interesting in that Emerson poll is looking at the crosstabs with the early voting versus the
Here it is.
E-Day voting. Yeah,
Yep.
so Talorico was winning the early vote by 17 points, which is a like pretty big margin. I think that is probably right. I think Crockett, she maybe she will win E-Day, but I think that will end up being pretty tight. And so yeah, so like let's say he is up by 17 points now. I think that'll probably get down to like 13, 12, 10. That's like partially kind of
That's
how
about
I'm getting
the
at that
max.
12%
Yeah.
number.
Interesting. I want to ask if weather plays a factor because when you always everyone thinks weather. No, obviously, is weather nice in Texas? That's as much as I'll go with it. Is it nice today in
Yeah, I mean
Houston?
it is definitely nicer than Boston. Like, are you based in Canada?
I'm
Like,
in
I'm
Canada.
in
Yeah.
Boston. It's like it's freezing. It's freaking cold
Yeah.
here. But like, dude, it's super
It's
nice.
tough.
There's no reason not to go out and vote.
Yeah. Scott, there was one comment that just came in from Rontro. Plattner is an anti-Semite himself, though. I don't know how much airtime you want to give it, but
Bullshit. Been
all
been
right.
been believing too much DNC and Republican hype would be my
And
response to that.
at the
I
beginning,
agree.
Groyper, Groyper Finance, he's the guy that got Scott from OPM to update the website. He said, "Hi, Scott, Crockett's going to get smacked." So, hey, at least you're out of it. I'm still on Crockett, so I'm the bag holder here. I guess I'll dump my stuff as per your financial advice, both of you. Um, so
Ben, how
margin
do
of
you deal with
victory.
with
Yeah,
the
go ahead.
psychological aspect? If you don't mind my asking, of posting on Twitter, posting on X and stuff. Sorry to distract. If I'm distracting, Ryan,
No, no, no.
shut
Go
me
ahead.
off.
Go ahead.
Oh no, I mean, I just treat it kind of like being fun. I mean, there will like always be haters, and yeah, I just kind of view it as being fun. It's like kind of uh like it is kind of like a it is kind of like a it is uh, kind of like a game. Like you're just trying to post things that are fun, seeing if people will like it, and like um yeah. Do you, like what do you mean? Just like
Yeah, no,
with
it's
people
it's in
hating
good
on it,
fun.
or
I just always
yeah,
hope people don't like, take it too seriously and put their entire life savings on something, or
true.
it's a weird
There was the article
it's
last
a
week.
weird
The Doge
it's a
guy.
bizarre psychologically, it's bizarre that people will actually follow you into predictions and stuff. And so I feel like sometimes I wonder, like, should I post this, even though but then I try to say it like, okay, if I'm telling you I
Yeah.
might chicken out of something, that obviously means my conviction is not very strong. But how do I
Right.
frame that? Well, then if I'm saying I'm going to chicken out of it, why the hell am I even posting it in the first?
Yeah.
It's those types of questions I sometimes ask myself. But I think you're correct. It's all in good fun. I don't think people take it super duper crazy seriously.
Well, part of the thing is posting your pics versus like posting content. And I don't know how much, obviously, to be have a good reputation, you also need to post your picks. Like you can't just be posting random shit posts, right? Like that works.
Right.
That works for the Dustin Gookers of the world, but for us who are traders first, when we're posting, it should be some sort of insight, right? So when I post about, I don't post picks, but for Ivan, who is in a situation
You
where
should
when we
you
were,
should post it.
yeah, I don't know. I'm cold right now. But when Ivan and I first started streaming, and we were talking about Fed chair, and he was very bullish on Powell. Nope, not Powell. What's his name? Who were we bullish
Ward
of?
or Waller, right? He
Christopher
was
Waller.
bullish on
Thank you.
Waller.
Yes, he was
I was actually tailing him, which I'm totally fine with
exactly
too.
tough.
That's smart.
But so he had shilled it on our first stream at 3%. It goes up to 5, 8, 9, 10, and he's like, I'm still bullish, I'm still bullish. And our first stream, very few views, but we got more views as it was me and him kept streaming, and more people were joining, but they were joining at prices above what we had initially shilled it at, right? So once it
Yeah,
gets to 15, 16, 18, then it's like, okay, he's like second favorite now, or he's in the mix with Warsh and Hassett. It's time to sell. It's definitely not time to buy anymore. And then obviously it crashes down to 5 and 0, and people are like, "Hey, what happened, Ivan?" And he's like, "Man, I can't give you all the entries and exits. All I
right.
can
Yeah.
do is give you a little bit of insight into my rationale. A 5% bet is not supposed to hit 100% of the time. 100% of the time we stream on
Right.
Twitter, right? Just like this 12%. If it loses, we're gonna be at your neck, Ben, for
Well, it's
losing a
also like
20% bet.
two different brackets, and
Two
I was
brackets,
telling you
yeah.
that these
So
tails are long.
20,
So
23% odds of this happening, 29% if you want to get the 10 plus. I'll sprinkle because I have faith in your analysis. And obviously I'm not doing any analysis on this, and also low liquidity, but the rationale makes sense. I'm thinking of the crosstab thing with demographics. The Mamdani election had a big problem undersampling the young vote.
yep.
All of the
Mhm.
polls were oversampling Cuomo voters, which were the older folks, right?
Yeah,
Meanwhile,
older black people, and turnout was super high in like both of
turnouts
those, and I
high.
think high voter turnout's going to help the candidate that gets those new younger voters. That's not just the
Exactly.
Democratic base.
So in the Mamdani situation, when you have 18 to 35 not being sampled as much, and his whole campaign was about tapping into those people and the
Yeah,
socialism angle, everything, that's why he won. That's why the polls were so wrong, because they didn't understand that sampling, then having a voter sample of 2021, whenever the last election was, is not the same as the voter sample today. Um, and yeah, so for this election, I wonder if it's going to be the same thing. Um, but that's why I think if the voter sample is wrong, as all of these polls might have been, we'll see how it ends up. Uh, Ben, no worries. Scott, what do you think about these? I think the crosstab analysis is a great one. And it's something that I think is a big alpha in election analysis. I don't know what Yabvek does. He does a whole different thing. He models his own stuff. But for us, if you see something that looks wrong in the crosstabs, if you just change the weight a little bit, add some sensitivity, then you get a range of possibilities. So after the election, the New York primary, I had gone into I think that was the Emerson poll. I downloaded their Excel and I looked at the crosstabs and adjusted the weight of 18 to 35. And by adjusting it 2-3%, Mamdani won. Isn't that
Hmm.
crazy, Scott? Like
Yeah, that's
that
wild.
was, and I texted one of my trading friends and I said, "This is insane." Hindsight bias, obviously. I wouldn't have predicted maybe I could have predicted young adults would be out there more, but just changing that a little bit would have changed everything. PMT asks Ben if he's still doing a spaces. I think you are, right? Is it in 10 minutes or at 7 or 8? When was it? You're muted. You're muted.
Yeah, that's going to be at 7 p.m. Eastern, so it's going to be in
Nice.
1 hour and 10 minutes. And I'm actually going to Uber to the Crockett rally here shortly
So are you
and
gonna
take it from
get to interview Crockett? We should get back on stream
there.
and you can interview her live for us.
Be
That
awesome.
would be sweet. I'm gonna like try to take my phone and like take video. So yeah,
No,
we'll
I
see.
think so. With Scott back in the Portugal election campaign, Scott had you had a cameraman and a whole crew with you, right, Scott, to film
It
everything.
was pretty
If I
cool. Yeah, it
if
was.
I was free, if I was free, Ben, I'd come down to Texas and I'd be your cameraman.
Oh,
It would have
yeah.
been
So
nice.
when I'm going to the going to these polling sites, I am I am going with a friend. So I
Okay.
think we might try to do videos. Like I'll video him, he'll video me, and we like might have some like fake mic or like something just so like people would know that we're like, you know, trying to interview people. So and like maybe like have like a clipboard or something or like a poster. Like we were thinking like maybe a poster and people could put stickers and like get the
Yeah.
wisdom of crowds. Like who are you voting for? And then like
Who's your
who do you
neighbor
think
voting
is
for?
actually
Who's your
yeah,
neighbor
yeah.
voting for? That's the
Right.
important
Yeah.
one.
Yeah. And like see if it's different, like who like people are like voting for versus who they actually think is like gonna win.
Okay.
Cause like those will like probably be pretty similar, but like maybe like sometimes they're like different. Like some people are like voting for Harris, but like they're like, you know what, Trump's probably gonna win. But like
Yeah.
so I think that could be really interesting.
Also interesting if they're Republican, do they think the Democrat is going to win versus Democrat thinking the like I wonder if there's already some bias there. Anyways, yeah, we've hit 50 minutes, so just past 45. Scott, do you have any final thoughts? What is your fair value? So Ben said 80 to 85. What's your fair value for Crockett at this point? Because you've been selling at 22, so is your fair value
I
lower than
sold
that?
my last bid at 22. Yeah, I think that's fair value. I think like in the 20 to 25 range should be fair value right now for Crockett.
Hmm.
I think she still has a chance, but it's not looking great. But teens just seems kind of too low. But I don't have the expertise on this one, so I'll defer to Ben.
Yeah. Okay. Well, Ben, 12 plus. I'm gonna get on after this call. 80 to 85. I'll take some money line as well, and we'll see how it ends up. Are you gonna be streaming tomorrow as well? Anytime? Like I know
I
we did the spaces last year for Tennessee, right?
yeah. Um, maybe. I'm
Okay.
just kind of gonna see how it goes. Yeah, I'll yeah, TBD there,
Cool.
yeah, I think and on the GOP side,
Yes.
I think that the fair I think that the fair value actually is probably like 25 to 34 Cornyn, but oh my gosh, I'm even more underwater here. So
This is
okay,
crazy. Oh,
sharps are clearly on Paxton very heavy because like looking at the actual order book, you have these insanely heavy orders
let's look.
on the Paxton side. It is unreal,
It's kind of
and I
yeah,
don't
it looks kind of
understand it.
even, but
Yeah, like well, or go to Cornyn here. Like on
okay.
Cornyn was
Okay.
crazy. Like
Yeah.
the Cornyn nose were just so much heavier, and
Yep.
like these are Cornyn nose at like 80, 85, like 83, 84, 85. Like I don't understand who this person is because like I like actually think and like I have like 35,000 shares. Like I have like way like my average price for corn is
Fading.
35,000 shares at like 22 cents. So I'm clearly underwater here. But like I still think fair value is like 30 to like 35. I mean, clearly I'm probably wrong.
Yeah.
And like I think Paxton's probably gonna win, but I think it's gonna go to a runoff, and so that adds 3 months to this race, and I think anything can like end up happening
Yeah.
because Trump has stayed out of this race. If it if it's close here. I think he could come in on like either side. So I just don't understand this pricing. It's like I seriously don't understand it. I maybe people have private polling. Um, yeah,
Is
I
there the
simply
endorsement
don't.
market? Because I know you tweeted about that 2026
Yeah,
primaries.
so this one actually, I think
Five, four, and
this one
one.
is yeah, this one is for the March 3rd race.
Ah, okay, that's
And
too bad.
if it goes to the runoff, then I think there will be like a new
Wouldn't count.
market for it
Yeah.
that's not up yet.
Yeah, I was
Yeah,
thinking
so like
he won't endorse now, but he might endorse later. Yeah.
yeah. Yeah, but I think he could do it on like either side. And so like when I see 86-14, I just I don't understand it. Cause like someone is very confident that Paxton's gonna win. Like maybe they've done private polling, maybe like I just yeah, it's something that I don't understand. I'm like probably gonna lose that, but like I just think those like 14 cents corn shares where it is right now are worth like 30, but I have 40, like almost 40,000 shares at 22 cents. So I'm like not going to buy anymore.
Yeah, I wouldn't go in anymore. That's for sure. Uh yeah. All right. That's it for us. I think thank you guys. Ben, good luck with your on the ground reporting. I will keep notifications on for that. And Scott, good luck with Iran and everything. Wish
Thank
us
you.
luck for Iran. But yeah, that was pretty good. I know what I'm gonna be buying now, so amazing. I'll see you guys soon. Scott will be on again soon, and Ben, hopefully you win. See ya.
All right. Thank you. Thanks,
You
guys.
guys
Good talk.